Let's talk a little bit more about this with Shan Wu, defense attorney and former federal prosecutor. So, Shan, when you go into a hearing like this, what are we expecting? I mean, are we likely to see any indication of how the judge is leaning based off of just this hearing?
Oh, I very much think so. A little bit of a technical issue. They're in a posture where they're arguing it's not a trial yet, it's before
Yeah.
trial, and something called a motion for summary judgment. So the legal standard for that is actually very tricky. It means that for the judge to rule as a matter of law that somebody's going to win, they got to first find there's no real material facts in dispute. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of maneuvering as to say, what is a material fact? Is it in dispute or not? But certainly, from the judge's questions, you're going to get a very strong sense of what the judge thinks of the legal arguments the government's making versus what Harvard's making.
And, ahead of today's hearing, the White House has said they believe a good deal is more than possible. And President Trump has suggested that Harvard will want to settle. Do you think that's likely based on where we are at this point, or is this headed for a longer legal fight?
Um, Almost all of these sorts of civil disputes tend to settle because neither party wants to go through the time and the expense of having to take it further into the discovery phase, further into the trial phase. Having said that, it really depends on what the parties want. This is not really about money damages, although there's a lot of money at stake. It could be quite easy to settle if Harvard gives the Trump administration some sort of saving face thing, like we're going to look more into the alleged discrimination against Jewish students, for example. White House can declare victory, kind of back off. If, however, the White House is really adamant and doesn't like the concessions, then they're going to say, look, we want this amount of control over who you hire, what your faculty can say. Harvard's already indicated they're not going to go with that, and then we're headed for a longer dispute. I do think there is a pretty good shot for Harvard that the judge might look at what the government has put forth so far and say, look, there just isn't any, there's nothing here. You haven't given any examples of the actual discrimination. You're just making these allegations. In that sense, there is no factual dispute here, and it's just a matter of law then, and government, you're going to lose on that. So there is a possibility that Harvard could win here.
All right. A lot of universities watching this as well. Shan Wu, appreciate the perspective as always. Kate?